What it do? It's the Thug. This is a quick video in regards to Tank 3. Number 1, 2, 3. We already did one. Here, cap. This is one. It's full of sword tails. It's full of sword plants. It's full of guppy grass. There's some panda corridoras in there that I got a couple weeks ago. This used to have pepper corridoras in here. Then they got massive, and I tried breeding them. They laid eggs. I haven't had any babies yet, but we're working on it. And then I moved those fish into a bigger tank because they were so big. So I got some panda cories recently and fed them up before I released them into the tank. Fed them brine shrimp for a week and then dropped them in, and they seem pretty comfortable. 7 of them in there now. I'm gonna probably get a few more next time I go to the store. But yeah, I've been breeding swordtails in here for years. There's a big red female in the front. There's the big koi male that I have in there now. And then, various different ones as well. There's I think that's called a Sankey or something like that. That red and white one right there. There's a type that I've bred that came in my own tanks. I called them volcanoes. There it is right there, coming out. So you can see it's red, and then it kind of bleeds into some black, and then that's a female, but its tail is fully black. So I think that's cool. It's a totally, I didn't buy that fish. It just showed up. And I gave my girl one. I gave her a red one, or excuse me, a male. Gave her a male. I have another male in the other tank, and there's also more growing. So it's kind of cool. So I got a different morph going on that I created, if you will, or nature created rather. But yeah, so panda cories. There's one of them thick lips back there. There's 3 thick lips in here. So yeah, the water looks a lot better than it did from the first video. I got some water spangle in the corners here, not only to suck up some nutrients, but also he's not here now, but there's a big sunset thick lip in here. He hangs out under there, getting ready to make a bubble nest. It looks like I just added that spangle yesterday. Yeah, there's a few mollies in here. There's platies in here. There's some gups in here. So this is the first tank, and then I'm gonna move on. Just do a quick update on the second one too, that you've already seen. This is a 20 long. This one has mollies in here, a lot of mollies, a few swordtails. This is the one that has the male volcano. That's a female right there in the bottom left. There's a male in here somewhere. I'm sure he'll show himself. That is a massive molly back there. That's Shy Guy. It's a female. She just has a ton of babies. And she's been around for a year and a half or so now. Various types of platies, mollies. There's that male volcano swordtail I was telling you about. There's some gups in here. There's like a 5 or so good, really hardy, pretty looking male gups in here, crossed with endlers, which means they're healthier, because guppies themselves, fancy guppies, don't have the best genes because they're really, really selectively bred. There you go. You see that's a stirby corridor being chased by a panda cory, and you see her T-posing against the glass. I already grabbed one of her eggs from earlier, but I have no idea why this panda is going after my stirbys. The panda's a rescue. There's one panda in there. I took it in because one of my friends had a tank with just that one in it. I was like, just give me that. I'll only put it with mine. It's not a good idea. Get a snail. But I have like 12 stirbys in here, all hiding under. There's a big log that's at this point covered over by plants, but there's a big log that I dug out a little hole in. I think she's trying to put the eggs on that little piece of Java fern there. There's a handsome Dalmatian sailfin molly right there, young boy. He's growing in. There, let's see, is she laying eggs or what? She's literally laying eggs on video. There you go. You can't get it any better than this, guys. This is the Thug universe. She just laid a fucking egg. You just watched where is it? It's so hard to see these little tiny things. Don't eat it. I don't want this little platy to eat it. Got it? Yep, there it is. Can you see that? Let's go 2 right there. That is a stirby corridora egg. That was just laid because a panda cory is like, I don't know, like trying to get her to fuck, whatever the hell it is, but she's laying eggs, and I don't think that that's gonna work. I don't think panda and stir-by mixes, but regardless, the reason they're laying eggs and doing all that is because they're healthy, they're fed well, they're in a safe environment where they don't have to worry about being picked on by predators or whatever it may be. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. I'm gonna snatch that egg at the end of the video if it doesn't get eaten. I don't think it's fertilized, but I don't know. Maybe I should just leave it in there. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so this is tank 2. Bunch of money wart up there, and water spangle, guppy grass, Amazon sword plant in the back, Java fern growing in, that's new. It's kind of cool. This is the base, right? This right here is all of this. All of this, all of these roots down here, all of that just comes from this. And that was one piece of floating stuff that, like, I got it at PetSmart, and I put it in there, and I was like, this isn't working right or whatever, and just a piece of it came off, and I left it in there floating around. And I'm not joking. For some reason, like, I have ADHD, and I get, like, stuck on these things, and I was like, let that thing be. And I just let that thing float for, like, months. I'm not joking. Just as a little, like, stalk. It was, like, just maybe to here, right? Like, that big. And I just let it float. And then I just planted it one day out of nowhere, and then this shit happened. I was like, damn, this thing's a lot. But, yeah, so anyway, now I got it in other tanks too. So here is let me just finish up. There's 5 honey gourami in here. They've already bred. 3 of them are children, and then 2 are the original parents. But yeah, they've bred already. There's a ton of mollies in here. Good looking ones. That one right here. See that one? There's a couple that are like goldfish looking. I'm trying to selectively keep those guys around and buy ones that have similar traits. But yeah, so there's some really good looking mollies in here. 12 stir-bys, as I said. Then there's like a couple rescues. There's a green Cory in here that has 1 eyeball, and her name is Gilbert. I named her Gilbert and then realized it was a female, and it has 1 eye, and it's fat. Oh, here he is. She is right there. See, full of eggs. You can see her full of eggs. I don't know why the panda should try out getting with that one. I don't know, but yeah, so platies, guppies, I got it all in here, just like the first one, really. And then the outlier is the honey gourami. So yeah, here's tank 3. This is just a 10-gallon, guys. You can do a ton with a 10-gallon. This right now is the remnants of a project, pretty much. And the reason I wanted to record this video today was because tomorrow I'm going to be kind of selling or rehoming basically all the fish in here, because I'm going to put those thick-lipped gourami into here and have them breed. There's a pair of them, adult pair, that have been following each other around. The male is floating above some leaf, or below some leaf litter. I think I already told you that, but yeah, so they're like ready to spawn pretty much. And I'm going to sell, there's I think around 8 to 10 honey gourami. You just saw one in the back. They're pretty shy. They like to stay to this side of the tank here. A couple platies in here that I had a female pregnant platy that I put in a breeder box, and I was pouring water into the tank, and I accidentally hit the breeder box, and it like tipped a little bit, and a bunch of them escaped. So I've slowly been trying to catch these platies without disturbing everything. Yeah, so there's some guppies on the side because I was breeding the honey gourami, and then I was just letting the babies grow out, and they got to a point where they were big enough I could just put some gups in here. It's kind of tough to breed guppies because they're small. They're smaller than, in community tanks, I mean, it's tougher to breed them because they're smaller than the mollies, they're smaller than swordtails, even platies. It's tough for them to get food, I think. I think the babies get eaten a lot of the times because they're super tiny. I don't know, that's just my theory. And my theory is because the results are guppies are the hardest. I don't get that many guppies out of the tanks where I have 3. I have 3 tanks where I have all 4 or 5, including Endlers, breeding in one tank, and I definitely get the least amount of guppies. Now, that being said, actually, I should consider I only sell male guppies, so I never really sell female guppies, so that's probably why, actually. It's a big part of why. But yeah, so there's like 15 or so guppies in here that I've just, I took some pretty ones that I had, the best looking ones, and kind of I put the females, rather. I grabbed the best looking females, and put them in here, and then I've been adding, putting a male in here for like a week or so, then taking them out, putting another one in, because basically live bears hold on to the sperm. So if you have a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, because they're going to be fucking, basically. So what you can do is kind of, I don't want to, I guess it's like mixing it up or whatever. Maybe it uses a certain sperm at a certain time. So, but either way, my theory is that I'll be able to see the traits of multiple guppies from one female spawning, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly how it works, but that's just a theory. We're testing it out here at the Thug Incorporation. That's what you got to do. You got to test shit out. Yeah, looking stuff up is cool, and looking up the results of other people's stuff is cool and all, but you get way more out of it if you do it yourself. It's just so much more. If you invest a lot into something and you do well, you get so much more out of it. So, I think it's always cool to do little side experiments and things like that. As long as you're not. This is a cool little male here. This one was born in here. Kind of a weak tail, though. Definitely the mom. I know the mom. There's a leopard. Oh, yep, there she is. That's the mom. Not quite sure who the dad is yet, but yeah. Anyway, you just get a lot more out of putting effort into something. You get a lot more out of it. There's a couple honeys over there swimming at this. Oh, that's just one. Actually, it's a reflection. There's a very yellow boy right there, hanging out under the filter output. Yeah, this tank here has, I think it's like 5 autos. I want to say it's about 5 autos, 15 guppies, something like that, just a couple platies, and about 8 to 10 honey gourami. I'm going to be selling all the honeys, rehoming a couple of them just to hold on to them for a friend. And I'm going to be rehoming all the guppies, just put them in other tanks for now. And, catch the platies as well, and then I'm just gonna put some thick lips in here and have them breed. And so this is really a project tank, and what you're seeing now is kind of the end of a project. It resulted in 50 honey gourami, so pretty damn good. And I'm moving on to the next one. So that's what this purge will be tomorrow, if you will. It'll be a purge, and I'll sell all these guys and make some money to be able to buy food and buy live food, and put money toward. I can buy other fish that shakes the genes up and such, and it really it all works out really well. So, and then if I keep hustling and I keep getting credibility, or I get people in real life who see my fish and the fish store that I sell to, and they love my stuff. They tell me how great my fish are and how healthy they are and how fat they are and colorful and all that. It's just a matter of finding that niche, right? That those people who understand that the quality of a fish that's coming from an environment like this, that's coming to you colorful and fat and older than you would buy at PetSmart, disease-free, acclimated to your water already, assuming you live in the same area, or I guess not. If I'm shipping out, it'd be different, but you gotta find those people who really value that work that's put into it, and they understand the results, because these fish are way just, I don't want to say better, but just so much healthier than things you would get at most PetSmarts, I will say. A lot of them are genetically compromised. And I'm not saying that mine aren't, because I buy them from, actually I don't buy fish from PetSmart. I buy fish from local reputable fish stores. So mine likely are going to be in better shape because of that. But then what I do is I take those fish and I cross them with other morphs, which then, reinvigorates that gene line, if you will. And if you continuously add new fish while selling ones that grow out, that look similar to ones you already have, whatever, you'll slowly really get those genes back on track, because they're no longer just breeding with like siblings constantly, or just breeding the same ones over and over. Then when they die, breed a couple of the babies of that one over and over and over. Then when they die, breed babies of that one over and over. You see how like the fish become, that's why sometimes you go to PetSmart, you see them, they have bent spines. You take them home, they only live for a couple weeks. They're skinny as fuck. They have that what's it called, tuberculosis, I think, when your belly is like inverted or whatever. It's not good stuff, guys. You know, it's yeah, it's life and all that, and yeah, it's cheap, and yeah, it is a guppy, but it's like, yeah, but it's almost like you're buying it's like the equivalent of one of those people from The Hills Have Eyes. It's what the fuck you're buying, man. This fish had sex with his brother. You know what I mean? It's like this shit. And I'm not gonna say that mine don't breed. You know, obviously they breed with their siblings and shit like that, but it's different. They're not breeding the same line. I'm not breeding the same line over and over and over and over and over. It's a couple that I buy from the same batch, breed once, and then I buy some more, a different species, and throw them in there, and then they all breed. So yes, some siblings will, but most of them won't. And then after that, I throw more in there, and it's just eventually the lines become cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, is what I'm saying. And you know, that's what nature is. You can't just like there's a reason that incest is not good. You literally I'm not a, you know, geneticist or whatever, but I understand that inbreeding leads to deformities, it leads to mental issues. Like, it's not a good thing, you know what I mean? And that also happens with fish after a while. It's not at the same rate, clearly, but it's still this, like, it's still a thing. And if there's a strain of guppy, and that's how they do it, you know, over time, at first the genes will probably be decent, because they're crossing different types of guppies to get to one form of a guppy. But then after that, once they get a couple that look like that, then you know, they're just going to keep breeding them, and then their babies, and then the babies after that. So after a while, like, if this type of guppy's been around for years, it's like, yeesh, these guppies are like fucking Hills Have Eyes guppies. So, you know, you have to keep in mind that there's a balance in between having a fish look perfect, right? It has amazing, cool lyre tail fins and shit like that. But then those fish die, you know what I mean? Or they don't, or I'm just tripping, or there's, you know, it's a case-by-case basis like anything. But just saying, the way that I do it is, it's way more natural than PetSmart, the way they do it. So you have to account for that. And you know, I gotta find people who do, and that's how the universe would really expand, because then I'd make more money, and then I could get more tanks, and then I could do more breeding projects, and I can get more fish from that, different types of fish, and I can try to make new fish maybe, like, who knows, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, kind of rambled there, but that's how the thug does, you know what I mean? That's how the thug do. That's what it do. Paul Wall, baby. Cringe. I'm listening to right now, it's Sense Emotion. Yeah, rap is great, hip-hop's great, especially 90s stuff. Holy shit, I've been really into Mobb Deep, Nas, a Tribe Called Quest. Who else? Outkast, their older shit, especially. Fucking Bone Thugs, like old Biggie and Tupac, obviously. It's just so much better. But also, what else is great is fucking reggae, to be honest. American reggae is outstanding. Look up Sense Emotion. They're a band from Atlantic City, New Jersey, and they're great. Definitely recommend their newest album. So, yeah. So anyway, this is Tank 3. Thanks for watching, you guys.